It can't be a patch day without one of these videos. Do this first, earn every reward in patch 12.0.7, fast and fun. Here we go. Let's check this video out real quick from the Comeback Kids, how to earn everything we want and what we should be doing when servers come back up.
Okay, patch 12.0.7 is finally here, and if you log in without a plan, you can be a bit confused on what's going on. We got all new systems, new gearing paths, and borrowed power, a new raid for powerful loot, heroic world tier content, turbulent timeways and their rewards, new story missions, UI updates, and so much more. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what to do first, what's worth your time, and how to fully take advantage of this patch so you can earn everything while having the most fun possible.
Let's do it.
So you don't miss out. Now, let's get into it.
To be fair to the man, you guys are all bitching. You're like, oh, the Comeback Kid's always optimizing our shit. He said, and have fun, okay? He's going to try to make your optimization fun. There you go.
Thing you should do right off the bat when 12.0.7 goes live is unlock the Omnium Folio. This is the new power system tied to Magister Umbric, Grand Magister Ramoth, and the Sunstrider Omnium. So to start this quest chain, you go to Silvermoon, and you pick up the quest from the Magister's Missive Scroll in the city. And you're pretty much doing this, detective work for both the elves here. It's a short little quest chain, nothing too crazy, but the important part is that once you unlock it, you gain access to a rune-based power tree that gives your character passive bonuses throughout the rest of Midnight. Stuff like
now, it's going to take us 5 weeks to fill this thing out, just FYI. It's time gated, so that's, it's wow. It's always going to be this way. But we'll fill out the first row at least this week.
Extra damage procs, healing effects, absorb shields, secondary stat boost, things like that. To unlock all this, you have to know that it is time gated. It's something you want to start pretty much as soon as possible and get done every single week. So it's a weekly little progression path to gain some power every Tuesday. This is free power. It'll immediately make your character stronger. Pick this up ASAP and get it done. Next up, immediately after that, the best move, I would say definitely, is unlocking the quest to open up the heroic world tier outdoor zones. These are going to be the brand new centerpiece of patch 12.0.7. There are 2 rotating locations connected here to the Voidstorm portal. 1 week will have you get sent off to a location, and then the next week you'll swap to the other location. So you have to know which one we're getting rotating first. Content. You have Vale, which is the icy touched Legion world, which is quite nice visually, and then Nightall, which is the fungal arcane heavy world. The idea is pretty much simple here. This is going to be your new weekly open world sort of rotating content loop, and it gives us something to do to entertain ourselves, which is what they typically do with patch 12.0.7.
I'm kind of excited to get into these 2 zones, or the one that's open this week, as early as possible, because I'm imagining it's just going to be packed with people. And I just love being in a zone that's like hyper populated. I just think it feels like an MMO when that's the case. And there's a world boss in there that I'm going to want to kill too. And evidently these world bosses are no cakewalks, so the more people that are there, the easier it'll be to do. So probably the best thing to do every single reset is immediately go into one of the 2, Nagitol or Val, and kill the world boss as soon as you can, because the most people will be attempting it at that time.
7, they add new zones. You start by talking to Maea in Silvermoon City, and you'll complete a short quest chain that will unlock...
That's right, Doc. Don't forget, guys, your G Fuel is 40% off until the 18th. Until noon Eastern time on the 18th. Get your G Fuel 40% off now with code Samiccus. It's a little hype thing that G Fuel's doing with Samiccus. Exciting stuff.
The zones for you. You also quickly notice that when you go to the drop down, that the heroic world mode option is available right from the start. Previously, you had to kill the world bosses in there and had to do a bunch of other requirements, but Blizzard took all that out. So if you want, you can complete the quest chain and start progressing in the heroic world tier right from the get-go. Do note that the content in here is quite difficult solo, even if you have really solid gear. So if you have a group of friends or guildmates that you want to play with, I highly recommend running with a group here on out. So after you enter the heroic zone, the goal here is simple. You complete the main story quests whenever they're available, turn in your brand new weekly open world loot quest, complete world quests, kill rares, collect treasures, participate in events, farm currency, and then eventually take down the weekly world boss style showdown enemies. Pretty much everything you do here is going to give you a ton of currency like Voidlight Marl and field accolades. So when it comes to the general collecting, gathering and content standpoint, both of these zones that rotate are going to have you pretty busy for a while to try and knock everything out as quickly as possible.
Right.
Not only that, you could buy...
Also, there's a quest, I don't think he mentioned it yet, for a myth track item. You'll get to select bracers. I think it's bracers, belt, back. I know bracers and back. I'm trying to remember what the third one is. It might be belt, but it's a myth track item. So I know a lot of you Giga Chads already fully mythed out, so you're like, I don't need that shit. But it's a myth track item that you'll get for doing open world content, which is the first time ever that's been the case in WoW.
Champion boxes that you can actually send to alternate characters, which is quite nice to help them gear out, which we'll talk about later. But you could also buy heroic pieces as well from these vendors to fill out your gear also. So when it comes to just getting gear, having fun, doing content in general, this is probably the meat of the patch right here. Immediately after entertaining yourself in the heroic world tier, next up you have the brand new raid, which is the Sporefall raid. This is the first time Blizzard has ever added a raid in the middle of a season in modern day WoW, so it's very exciting.
It's cool.
This is a new one-boss raid in Herondar where we fight the Rotmire, and even if you're not normally a raider, this is absolutely something you want to at least queue into in LFR. The boss is available on all difficulties, and the really interesting part is that for Mythic, it is now being tested at a Mythic Flex raid difficulty, ranging from 15 to 25 players for the first time ever in Mythic, which is a really awesome thing. The most important part about all...
What should I do on a fresh 90 to gear? I think that open world, those two new open worlds is a pretty big deal right now for gearing out. They have so much alt gear that you'll be able to buy and farm from those. And then Turbulent Timeways. That's kicking off too with 12.0.7. Go run those Turbulent Timeways dungeons. There's going to be so much gear that you can get from those. Definitely. 25, what? Delves get 259, Mythic Plus, then Mythic Plus. Yeah, true. Delves will help. But definitely right now, just with special events going on, I think doing the open world content and the two new zones and the end Turbulent Timeways. Turbulent Timeway always really good for that shit.
This is that the Rotmire has gear, cosmetics, housing decorations, and more importantly, progress toward the brand new Luminous Spore Glider mount. The idea to get this mount is that the boss will drop an item called the Spore Snacks every time you kill him. If you combine 4 of these snacks, you can get the mount, and it's pretty much just as simple as that. It's also important to note that you can earn this on any difficulty, even LFR, so even if you want to just queue up LFR once a week for the next 4 weeks, you can do that as well. When it comes to the gear this boss drops, it is incredibly powerful, and it ranges all the way up to 298 item level gear. So if you're able to do it, try to get this done on heroic or even mythic difficulty and get some really nice gear going. Something else I want to quickly talk about is that they made a quick update to solo gearing this patch, and that's because of the brand new Tier 6 ritual sites. So if you've played patch 12.0.5, you know ritual sites are
farmable myth track crests from this. 5 myth track crests can be gotten from these Tier 6 ritual sites, and it's unending. Unlike Delves, where it's 20 capped per week, you can get just however many you want from this thing.
Pretty much a mix between Delves and Horrific Visions, but in this patch, Blizzard is adding Tier 6, and Tier 6 ritual sites can reward you with Mythic Dawn Crest, which means solo players now have another legitimate path forward toward high-end character progression. This simply has you activate 6 challenges in your Tier 6 ritual site, and then you complete the site. That's pretty much it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is the most optimal way to get Mythic Dawn Crest in the game, because it's really not. Mythic plus 12s are by far the fastest thing to do, but if you want to play completely solo and enjoy your own company watching some YouTube videos.
Yeah, or run plus 10, 13 keys. Of course, yeah, running mythic keys, obviously you're going to get plenty of myth crests that way too. But if you're like just soloing, or you just want you log it on real quick, you want to get something done on your own, these will be available. It's a good way to spend your time if you just want to do some quick solo content.
Videos or whatever, you can absolutely do this. You don't need to live in Mythic Plus to keep progressing your character. Next up, when it comes to leveling alternate characters, earning extra rewards, and just getting more value out of your account, we also have the Turbulent Timeways coming back this patch as well. Now, sadly, this is not launching immediately with the patch. It's very important to note the Turbulent Timeways starts on June 30th and runs all the way until August 11th. So this is a more of a, follow-up event a couple weeks after the patch goes live. But honestly, if you have alts you've been meaning to level, gear, or finally mess around with, this is one of the best times to absolutely do it. The event runs for 6 consecutive weeks, and each week will be time walking through a different previous expansion. What's
Yeah,
interesting
buddy.
this time is that the rotation begins and ends with the brand new Dragonflight time walking. On top of that, there's also a new Dragonflight time walking vendor located in Valdrakken. So if you're interested in, mounts, cosmetics, toys, reputation tokens, old Dragonflight appearances, or just collecting a bunch of rewards during Dragonflight, this is definitely something you need to check out. The other really important part is the weekly time walking quest. This will give you a heroic cache for, your alternate characters, so it's really nice for that.
Really good
and
for
then, of
alt
course, you have the
gearing.
Turbulent Timeways, XP event that's going to be happening as well. It's called the Timeways buff. So if you've been waiting for the right time to level an alternate character, test a new class or get another guy going for the next season of Midnight, this is definitely the window you want to take advantage of it. You get the Turbulent Timeways buff, stack it up to 5 times, and then you're able to get the XP buff across your entire account now because it's account-wide, and it's instantly activatable on any one of your characters, so it's going to be really, really valuable. Also, important to note that the leveling improvements in 12.0.7 are not only tied to Turbulent Timeways, but just in general the game, because Blizzard also increased the amount of experience earned from several Midnight activities. This includes Delves, Midnight Dungeon Quest, the Prey system, weekly Renown activities.
Yeah, crazy
pretty much
XP.
everything top to bottom, like Void Assaults, Void Incursions, everything you can think of has massively increased XP rates.
I think I told you guys like 8x on the XP rates. So, I mean, if you don't have an alt already at cap, you're going to get them at cap real quick.
Top to bottom. So it's going to be really easy to just find a route that you'd want to play and complete and play content and enjoy yourself. And you can just do that, man. If you just want to do Void Assaults, you can do that. If you just want to do Delves, you can. If you just want to do Prey, you can do that also. Not only that, we're also getting new lore walking with assistant lore walker Lili. And this time the focus is all about the Loa and the different troll tribes. We're diving deeper into the Zandalari, the Drakari, Gurubashi, and the Darkspear trolls, which is honestly a really cool direction if you've ever cared about old school Warcraft history or gameplay at all. And then for some reason, the story quests are now being time gated up until July 7th of next month. But when that comes out, we're getting the next chapter with Zul'Jin, where this has Zul'Jin attending a special Heronir gathering as the Amani representative, only to get pulled into an ancient mystery surrounding the legacy of the Amani trolls. This is the part that really has me personally interested because it really feels like Blizzard is trying to plant the seeds for where Midnight is going next.
Yep, 12.1 Amani
really
troll
exciting.
patch.
I'm dying to dive into this stuff. You also have some smaller updates here in patch 12.0.7 because there's some good quality of life stuff coming. For housing, Blizzard is increasing the outdoor decor limits pretty substantially, adding over 100 new decor items, and most importantly, finally allowing outdoor lighting placement, which is nice. It sounds small, but this is something the community's been begging for, so shout out to Blizzard for that. On the UI side, Blizzard is continuing this slow push toward making the base UI really competitive with add-ons. The in-game damage meter is getting some nice customizations that it desperately needed, more sizing options, better visibility, and also the personal resource bar is getting a ton of customization too, with scaling, opacity, class colors, separate resource toggles, all of that sort of stuff. So a lot of good UI changes here. You definitely don't want to miss out on this. And also really quick, before we jump into the final checklist, there are also a few smaller things in patch 12.0.7. Definitely worth mentioning if you're trying to...
So Blizzard won't announce 12.1 until story of 0.7 wraps up July then? Probably like official announcement, but we'll start to see PTR stuff, I'm sure. So no, they might announce it sooner than that. I don't know if they'll wait till July 7th. I mean, that's not that far away, but usually when these patches hit, I mean, I feel like 2 weeks later, we're getting the newest shit. We're already starting to hear about the next patch, so we'll see. I would say July 7th at the latest.
Earn everything. None of this is the first thing I would do when I log in, but if you're interested and you want to just do it, go for it. First up, you have the Darkspear Dash micro holiday event happening on June 27th. This is a limited time troll themed event where players race from the Echo Isles to Silvermoon City. So if you enjoyed the micro holidays, this could be fun for you. The Abundance event is also getting a really nice quality of life update. You can now spend multiple shards of Dun at once, so you can actually go in there, spend 8 shards all in one go,
People are so happy
get
about
it done,
this.
get it finished, and do it in like 5 minutes. Way better than before. Shout out to Blizzard for that one. You also have the Moth Hunt system in Herondar is also being cleaned up. You won't lose your current moth progress, but Luminous Dust It's going away, and the Moth Keeper will now reward you through account-wide collection milestones instead, which is kind of cool. Not only that, there's also a brand new progress bar, so you can actually see what you're working toward, which is a decent little change for collectors and housing players. And then lastly, for Void Assaults and Void Incursions, you're also getting the better XP, rewards, dark particle drop rates are increased, you're getting more satchels to drop often, and all that fun stuff. Let's get to the priority checklist for this video so you know exactly what to do first, and you can take a screenshot so you can have it on your second monitor right when you log in. First up, get to the quest to unlock the Omnium Folio right away. It's the new power system for the patch, so get the quest line done early and start your rune progression. Next, head through the Voidstorm portal in whichever zone is active that week and do your world quests, kill rares, loot treasures, complete events, and make sure you have a kick-ass time in the new heroic world tier. Then run the Sporefall raid and kill Rotmire. It's an only one boss raid, and you'll want the loot, either the cosmetics, the housing decor, and then you want to progress the weekly progress toward the Luminous Spore Glider mount. You can do this on LFR if you want, so if that's an option, go for it. After that, if you're interested and you only play solo, start pushing out ritual sites, because tier 6 ritual sites can give you an unlimited amount of Mythic Dawn crests. So if you don't want to do Mythic Plus and you just want to farm ritual sites, you can do that also. If you start getting a ton of field accolades, you can spend them at the vendor for champion pieces that are warbound across your entire account, or you can get specific slots for hero track loot as well. When Turbulent Timeways starts on June 30th, use that as your big alt catch-up window, level characters, grab the weekly heroic cash, and then check the Dragonfight vendor in Valdraken for a bunch of rewards. After that, clean up the story content, which is like doing lore walking, help the John Alai quest line, the fire guy, and then come back to Zul'Jin chapter when that unlocks next month as well. And then finally, once the main power stuff is done, that's when you clean up the extras. You got like the housing decor stuff, the Moth Hunt rewards, the Dark Particle bonus stuff from the Void Assaults, and all the new Dark Spirit Dash holiday events and everything like that. So just do that, and you'll get basically everything from this patch has to offer without turning the whole patch into a giant, boring slog bomb of not knowing what the hell is going on. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up today's video on patch 12.0.7. A lot of things going on here, so I thought I'd just make a quick video to help you guys out. We got a lot more content coming soon, finally, for World of Warcraft and the new season right around the corner. So I think it's time to get hype again. My name's Scott from the Comeback Kids. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing or check out one of the videos you see on screen here to stay up to date on all things Warcraft. My name's Sky for the Comeback Kids. It's an absolute pleasure to make content for you all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, nice video overall. Good kind of list of stuff that we got to get done here, and there's plenty to do. Like I said, I'm logging in. I'm gonna go do that Omnium Folio. I'm gonna go try to kill the world boss, jump into raids. So it's a 0.7 patch with actually a lot to do. So that's exciting. Nice video overall from the Comeback Kids.